Listen, smartphones are rather stale here in 2025, and they're not super fun anymore. Sure, they're coming out with devices like the S25 Edge and now the iPhone Air with super thin devices, but they are lacking battery, and that for me is a bit much to handle, especially when they're just a slab phone. I argue that Samsung has come out with the funnest phone as of late, and that's the Galaxy Z Fold 7. I think this device has what it takes to be the best device of 2025 aside from other slab phones. Why do I think that? I'm Miggy the Tech Guy, and let's find out. First, I'd like to start off by talking about the elephant in the room, which is the price of the Galaxy Z Fold 7. This device is $2,000 MSRP at time of this recording, and for that price, you would want to almost immediately excuse this phone from being phone of the year because, for value-wise, it just possibly can't hold up to that standard. But let me tell you that price isn't as much of a problem as it was in previous generations. With the Z Fold 6, in my video on the Z Fold 6, I had said that the pricing just was not worth it for the device you get. And here, I feel like if you don't mind spending that pretty penny, this device is kinda worth that $2,000. And hold up. I know that sounds ridiculous, and for the most part, I would say it's not worth it to spend $2,000 on any smartphone because you could buy a really nice high-end laptop for that pricing. But I'm telling you right now that this is just an awesome phone to deal with, and I actually genuinely super enjoyed my experience while using it, and it made me almost consider switching from my OnePlus 13. And even though the price is ultimately the reason why I'm not going to stick with it, I do still believe that if you enjoy folding devices and you enjoy slab phones and you just want to have fun with the device and just feel like a kid again when it comes to technology, I urge you to just go pick one up and use one in a store or something like that because it feels like the future. And that's where it didn't before. Like before, it felt like they were too thick, had too smaller front screens, all of that. But for the pricing nowadays, I feel like it's easily more justifiable. And if you're new to the channel, hi there, I'm Miggy the Tech Guy. I typically go over a few categories. I'll put them up here for you as to why I believe a device is a contender for what it happens to be. And to start off with the first category, we're going to go into build quality. The build quality of the Z Fold 7 is actually rather amazing here in 2025. It feels like the future, like I had said a little bit earlier. It just feels like a glimpse into a future where we have tablets and phones in our pockets. And when you look at it and you unfold it and you see this 8-inch tablet in your hands, it doesn't feel real when you close it because it turns into basically a regular slab smartphone. And that's where I say the build quality is amazing. They've done some magic with this hinge and made an amazingly built device. I can't overstate that. This device feels like a breath of fresh air when you come from other devices because of what it's capable of. Literally, it's a normal-sized slab smartphone, and then you unfold it, and it's like a full tablet. And for me, that is just genuinely impressive. Before, sure, you had a very similar size display on the Z Fold 6, and you had a very similar size front display-ish. That's where I think it fell so flat, is that it was too thick to be a regular smartphone, and it had too small of an outer display to use, and it was just a little cumbersome for my hands. It just felt way too narrow and just not the size of a regular smartphone. So when typing, it was just off, and it just felt like, sure, I wanted to use the outer display a lot because it's, most of the time we're used to using slab smartphones, but when I needed it, I had the tablet in my hands. And I found myself using the tablet mode a little bit more on that, but in most scenarios, you can't always pull that out. So it always felt more like a prototype device in previous generations. While here, it feels so refined at this point, and I can't give it full credit to the Z Fold 7. There are devices like the Oppo Find N5, and the Honor Magic series as well is also credited to having a very thin folding smartphone, so I can't say it's completely on this device, but this is the first major one in the States, and this is one you could pick up in carrier stores, so everybody can get their hands on it within a reasonable amount of money when you're paying monthly and, leasing the device. But when it comes to this, it just feels so great in the hands. It feels premium. It feels like a regular device. It feels like you're just ready to use it, and at a moment's notice, if you need to pull it out of your pocket, it feels like a normal smartphone. And then when you're ready, while you're in the bathroom and you want to watch videos, or if you want to browse multiple apps at the same time or anything like that, it's capable of that with its build quality. and just giving you two separate devices in one. And for me, that's just what holds it up above a lot of other devices, is that I don't miss my other slab device when I come to this as much as I have in previous years. So for me, that is really impressive. I just genuinely am super impressed with the build quality. That color that I have here, the blue, it's just more poppy than last year's, and it just feels very premium. Like, they built a very solid device. It feels like you can definitely hold it and have confidence in its build quality, even with the hinge and opening the display and all of those things. It just feels very solid and looks very premium from the back. And when you turn it around and you look at the outer display, it's 6.5 inches, which is much more phone-esque in the aspect ratio that we have here. And that to me is super amazing. Yes, I say super a lot. I say a bunch of words a lot, but this device, I cannot overstate the fact that this is just a great phone to use and scroll through on the display and just look at. And when you open it up and you see that inner display and you just see how beautiful it is and how vibrant these colors on these AMOLED displays are at this point, and how high nittage they get, and they're 120 hertz and adaptive refresh rates, and all the things that come in a modern smartphone are in this device, and they've not really toned it down for this device, and we're able to pack a huge punch with all of the things that encompass this build quality. You look at the back cameras and they bulge out a lot, and sure, they do collect a bit of dust in the crevices, which is a little bit annoying. I do like that the camera rings aren't as prominent as in previous generations as well, or in the S25 Ultra for that matter. So they went away with that and made a little bit more silver around it. It looks way more clean in my opinion. And so when you're looking at it as all encompassed in its build quality, the Z Fold 7 is so great, and it is worth its price here in 2025 in my opinion. Next, we're going to talk about experience with the Z Fold 7. And here is where Samsung threw in the kitchen sink and everything else. I'm telling you, you get all of Samsung's One UI software along with Good Lock, and you can customize your home screens to your heart's content. You can make it different on both displays. You can make it so that they mirror each other. You have ultimate control. You can put multiple apps at once with floating windows, and you can open up Samsung DeX on a TV while you're doing all that separate on your smartphone and have a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse connected to the TV. So it's a computer and it's your phone at the same time. No other device does that. Samsung just packs everything you would need in one device right here. And it replaces a tablet for you. It replaces a regular smartphone for you. So for its price, it's a little bit more justifiable because Samsung adds so much to its experience. You are going to see that it's super fast because it's running a Snapdragon 8 Elite. It's got 12 gigs of RAM. It has everything that you would want in a modern device and all the capabilities of its slab counterparts in this device. And when it comes to that experience, I don't think anybody truly has Samsung beat. And that, for me, is what's impressive. Is sure, I really loved the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, but seeing the Pixel 10 Pro Fold and seeing how they haven't made much of an jump in generations, it really bothers me, especially from the original Pixel Fold to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It was such a big jump that I was anticipating the 10 Pro Fold to be something a little bit more modern like the Z Fold 7 in terms of its build quality and all of its stuff and experience, but it's the same experience as the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It has a better CPU, worse GPU in most cases from what I'm seeing, and the same build quality. So I don't know. That was the first Fold that really made me feel like, wow, we're heading somewhere with these Fold devices. But now seeing the Z Fold 7, it just completely blows the Pixel 9 Pro Fold out of the water for me. And I am just genuinely impressed with what I have seen and used. And while you're scrolling through your apps, you're opening up things, everything's just butter. It just works. That's what's impressive to me, is what you're doing. And even when you're running multiple apps at once and doing the Samsung DeX on a TV, it still runs really fast and fluid. It can handle everything that you want to throw at it and more in its experience, whether you're browsing the web or you're watching a video or even gaming. Since it's a Snapdragon 8 Elite, you can game to your heart's content on this bad boy. Sure, it's gonna heat up more than its slab counterparts, of course, because of its thinness when it's folded open. But that big display while you're playing games is genuinely impressive. I talked about it in the Z Fold 6 review. The gaming is amazing on that device. So this one is just slightly larger and it feels even better to game on this. It does have the camera cutout, which is a little bit annoying if we're being honest, as opposed to the non-camera cutout of the Z Fold 6. So you gave me more full screen-esque in terms of gaming, so it kind of went out of the way. But if we're being honest, the selfie camera on the interior, it's not that bothersome when you're playing games. You kind of stop noticing it, especially with how large the display is. It has no trouble keeping up with games and playing Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite Mobile. You can play games like Doodle Jump and Subway Surfer, and any game on this thing, anything you throw at it, it's gonna be able to do that. So it's just so impressive to me that the Z Fold 7 holds up even with its ultra thinness when it's unfolded, and you can use it like it's a computer at this point. This is such an amazing experience with One UI 8 and Android 16 that I am confident in saying that Samsung gave one of the best experiences in any smartphone with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 here, and it's definitely made me consider it's worth its price here in 2025 for that as well. Next, we're going to talk about cameras on the Z Fold 7. And here is where it also, from last year, it felt like a watered-down version of cameras. Here it feels like you're getting the experience from the Galaxy S25 Ultra with the 200-megapixel main camera, and you also get two other lenses. You get a telephoto and you get an ultra-wide, so you are getting pretty much high-end cameras on this device. And while it only goes up to 30 times zoom, and it's not super impressive like the, Ultra's camera zoom going all the way to 100x, it doesn't really matter because not a lot of people are zooming in super far. But when you're doing the normal telephoto or you're taking regular photos or ultra-wide photos, this thing holds up tremendously well. I mean, the dynamic range on your photos is awesome. It almost feels a little bit better than the S25 Ultra in its consistency for me in colors and dynamic range, and it has less dullness overall than that device. So when I'm looking at these photos, I am genuinely impressed for this type of smartphone and how thin it is, that they were able to pack a punch this big with the cameras. I am super impressed. Last year I was underwhelmed. The previous years I was underwhelmed. It's Samsung color reproduction, it's Samsung's processing, all that. It's great. Of course, all the other cameras weren't terrible. It's just that it didn't feel like it was up to par for its $2,000 price point, where here it feels more justifiable. It feels more ultra and more premium than the previous years. So when you're looking at these photos, whether it's portrait mode, whether it's night mode, whether it's a regular day in a landscape, or if you're just taking pictures of moving objects or anything of that nature, you can trust that this camera suite will take care of you. And for a lot of devices, I feel like that's wishy-washy, and it can be a problem if you don't know what you're doing, but this is such a good point-and-shoot reliable device for its cameras that I think it definitely justifies possibly paying $2,000 for this device here in 2025 for its cameras as well. Finally, we're going to talk about battery life. And here is where I thought it was totally just going to crap the bed. But I was pleasantly surprised with the battery life on the Z Fold 7. Their optimizations on One UI 8 and just the device itself and how they managed to get the battery life they did out of this device, I was comfortably getting about 7 hours screen on time with this device. And for me, that's rather impressive because the battery has not changed from last year. And last year's battery was underwhelming for me as well. So when I saw its spec sheet, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a terrible battery life. And while it's not completely up to par with my OnePlus 13, and it doesn't have ultra fast charging, it has 25 watt fast charging from their perspective. It's not the 45 watt that the S25 Ultra has. It's regular 25 watts. It doesn't bother me as much here as I thought it would. Sure, I still want to go to my OnePlus 13 for my ultra fast charging, but nobody really has that. So that's just kind of a neither here nor there situation, is where like if you're not using super ultra fast charging, it's not going to bother you that much. And if you're coming from a different device other than this one, chances are that charging isn't going to bother you anyway because you're so used to how long it takes to charge your device, and it's so low at this point that like most people don't care. And for me here, it lasts long enough, especially even if you're using it to watching, videos or doing something on the inside display, that it really showcases how well optimized Samsung made this device. I am just really impressed. I thought I was going to hate this. I thought that I was going to be ranting and raving saying that this is the main reason why you wouldn't want to purchase it. And while technically it is the main reason why you wouldn't want to purchase it, it still holds up good enough for most people that we're at a point where like, yes, it is all day battery life in most cases. Maybe extra extreme users will kill it before the day's over, but you can top it up if you need to. Just bring a charger with you, or maybe bring a charging bank and plug that bad boy in, or get a case that has the wireless charging and you can have a wireless battery pack on the back of this device. There's so many options nowadays that it isn't as much of a problem as it used to be for these devices, and especially for a device like this and this marvel of technology and how thin it is. Sure, the battery is going to be small, like it is what it is. This is a foldable device, and when it's unfolded, sure, it is super thin and thinner than the Galaxy S25 Edge. It's thinner than the iPhone Air, so it's not going to be able to pack as much of a punch with its battery life than those devices would. So when we're talking about it, all things considered, this device holds up really well, even in the battery department. And I think while it's not gonna blow you away for $2,000, all the other things are so good that the battery being kinda mid isn't even a problem for its pricing here in 2025. So all in all, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is one of the funnest devices I've used in a long time. I feel like a kid again using it, like I said earlier. This device just feels so great, and it's almost like this hope for devices that I see again, because everything was getting so stale. Everything feels so stale, even with the announcement of the iPhone 17 series for the most part. Sure, they updated 120 hertz on their lower end, so the better value is in the cheaper devices nowadays. But when you come to something that just is fun to use and has a gimmick that felt like a real huge gimmick in the past, it feels like a genuine contender to replace your tablet and your phone all in one. And it really just is a positive experience overall. And I urge you to go check one out and maybe pick one up if you feel like it's worth it paying the monthly fee for this on a carrier. I don't really necessarily recommend buying it outright, and if you do, try to do a trade-in deal if you can. I'm sure Samsung may have deals or whatnot on their website. Go ahead and check that out. But for the most part, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is an awesome device and 100% worth the buy here in 2025, I'm telling you.